Coach Evans from Sip the Tally, awesome YouTube follow, awesome Twitter follow, friend of the program. I know I have had him on, at least on my personal channel, Sarah, over the years. Great part of the Ravens Twitter community and somebody that we're going to be leaning on as we continue our Tuesday film study trend this season. Coach, great to have you, brother. Happy Thanksgiving to you and yours.
Happy Thanksgiving to you and yours as well. Y'all doing okay?
We are great. We're great. We're looking forward to seeing what you have for us today because, as you know, everybody weekly is hitting the panic button on the offensive line. So I know you probably get that on your YouTube page also. So that's like half of our comments every week.
That's the root of most of the problems, in my opinion. That interior offensive line is the root of so many situations. I saw somebody, recently put in your chat about the line can't run block, they can't pass block what they want Monken to do, and I'm in that same boat with them. It's so hard to call plays when your offensive line is not performing at least average.
Coach, why don't we start with something that could potentially be, I don't know if a full-blown fix is the best way to describe it, but something that, I don't know, has the fan base thinking that how could it get any worse if a change like this happens? And it's about the day 2 pick out of LSU, Emory Jones Jr. You know him. He was drafted as a tackle, had some guard experience from his time in Baton Rouge. And John Harbaugh was asked specifically about him yesterday as it relates to, one, getting him involved, and two, potentially rotating him in. Here's how John handled that.
Jones up yesterday for the first time, and then he didn't play. Was there a plan to give him a look, or was it a matter of just have him up if we need him?
I just kind of moved into that role of one of the 8 being active and was ready to play him if needed. And I think we'll see where it goes from there.
Just go back to Emory. Is that a situation where you can maybe see a rotation at some point, or is that something you prefer really not to do?
I think everything's on the table. We've done that before. We were probably one of the first teams that started rotating linemen, if you remember. That was kind of unheard of. When did we start? 3, 4, 5 years ago? We did it a few times. So definitely not opposed to doing that.
All right, Coach, great place to start. So first of all, as probably a lot of us know by now, Emory was active on game day for the first time this season, just this past Sunday against the Jets. Did not play, but it was certainly a signal that more could be on the way for Emory, who was on the NFI list, the non-football injury list, for the majority of the season. I think it was the early part of November. He was activated off of that, and his 3-week window began. So perhaps an option coming up here pretty shortly. Are you in the boat of being like, yeah, how could it get any worse? And I want to see this guy in maybe not the most high leverage situations, but at the very least in a rotational type role and allowing him to kind of get his legs under him?
It's a situation where I haven't heard John talk about, offensive linemen like that in a while. Because normally he's straight line, like he don't want to talk about it at all, and they don't want to mess up the continuity with the 5 guys they have out there. So the fact that, well, one, that Ben Cleveland was started to be inactive, which lets me know that, they favor Emory Jones over him. So I think he's completely done. And then for John to just keep bringing him up, throughout it, because normally he won't talk about it. But the fact that he's bringing Emory in and saying that, I think when they get in a situation where either they're winning handily or, unfortunately, hopefully not, losing handily, we'll get an opportunity to see him. And once they can grade him versus some real competition and not just in the actual, because they're not practicing for real right now. And his chance to be good or to show what he was doing, he was hurt. So you can't really stick him out there because you don't know what you got. You think you know what you got. But also this late in the season, do you want to mess up whatever little chemistry they got up front because it's so late in the season? I think the time to play him should have been last week. But even now, I think you won't see him unless it's an injury. And I don't want to wish injury on any of those guys. But if you don't, I'm just big on the continuity. Them 5 guys got to play as one. And even though, 77 and 72 don't play good, Linderbaum knows what's beside him. And then you throw a new person in there. That's a new person he got to learn, a new nuances he got to learn. It's a tough situation, but the way the offense is going, I think it has to happen. It's going to mess up offensive line chemistry, but as bad as they've been playing lately, I think it's something that has to happen because that offensive line needs a spark from somewhere. If it's Emory, if it's anybody, Bullock, somebody, they need a spark somewhere to get them going because they're affecting the entire team, defense included.
Coach, it sounded like based off of reports in the pregame warmups that he was rotating in on at the left guard. Would you have a preference of which guard he rotated with?
I do not. I noticed that the first time they talked about him, I saw that G beside his name, and it sparked interest in me. I'm like, well, they moving him to guard. That's a good thing. And
Mhm.
I personally think left guard because I know we bag on 77 a lot on Falele a lot, but I really think Voorhees is worse than him in my personal opinion. And if he go in and play left guard, I'm fine with it because Falele misses are what we would call loud. They're highlight, well, low light worthy misses, but Voorhees misses are way more. He's way more inconsistent than Falele. At least Falele has the size to make people have to go around him and whatnot. But Voorhees misses are just like the sack this past week was terrible, and to the point where Lamar can't even react to it.
Coach, we'll give you the baton here in terms of kind of leading us into what you have prepared today.
Okay, let me share this screen with you.
And while you do so, obviously the run block and pass blocking grades that you had up on Twitter yesterday are up on the screen, and hard to believe that look at Voorhees, man. He is your lowest graded run blocker and pass blocker. So PFF, you might be onto something. PFF might be onto something. I know it's not the be all end all when it comes to evaluating these guys, but wow, you're right. Maybe 77's low lights kind of steal the show a little bit, if you will, when really when you dig deeper, it's the lack of it's that inconsistency that's starting to get more and more of a hefty sample size for Voorhees. But all yours, my man.
All right, can I share my screen? I tried to share my screen. You might have to add it to the.
Let's see. We're gonna go ahead and do this. Let's just do a little real time,
There we
and
go.
all you, man.
There we go. All right. So what we have here is we're gonna start with the good plays, the good run plays we have, and the good things that the offensive line did. And so on this very first one, we're gonna talk a little bit about duo. And so on duo is designed to get a bunch of down blocks, a bunch of double teams, and the interior offensive lineman, and not block the end man on the line of scrimmage. And that's normally the cornerback. In this case, it really wasn't a cornerback. And so we came out and ran, and we don't run a lot of man concepts. So the end man on the line of scrimmage is this one. It's 56, and you'll see him off to the right over there. And this is one of the concepts that the Lions ran a lot on us. So in this case, 56, who's that Williams, he won't be blocked. But watch what Derek does. Watch the rest of the offensive line. You're gonna see Zay come out there, and you wonder why is Zay in there over like a bigger wide receiver. Watch what Zay does to the guy that he has to block. Gets him out of there better than the offensive lineman. And obviously he gets throw right there at the end, but that's a better job than some of the offensive linemen. Digging 22 out of there and doing what he got. Like, look at Roger, just looking like, man,
Just
I didn't
doing
know you could do that. just standing around. But again, you see all the double teams taking place down on the inside, and the end man on line of scrimmage, he kind of overcommits to it too much. And Derek is able to get outside for a 17-yard gain. And this was our best run play of the game. And we don't run a lot of duo, but we've started to run that a lot more lately. And the fact that if you can get, and because we were backed up and they probably had a different personnel package in there, this guy is normally a corner. The end man on line of scrimmage is normally a corner, or they just don't block the corner. They block everything down, and they'll send a line like a receiver in to block the safety. Because the corners are your worst tackles most of the time. But the fact that he did this to a linebacker, is a good thing. And it's a different wrinkle that we throw in there because we don't run a lot of duo type stuff. But if you add that to it, there's more stuff the defense had to prepare for. Then you come on this one. This next one is like an outside zone type. Well, I'm sorry, it's long trap. And most traps happen to 3-1 technique. So most time you trap in this guy or this guy. But in this case, we're going to trap the outside guy. And this is one of the things that 77 did well. We'll check it out. You're going to get a little motion, which changes it. And everybody else is going to go down block, including Likely. And you'll see the blocking assignments here in a second. Get your downs for everybody else. Then Roger Rosengarten has a technique that we call stab and hinge. And what he's going to step hard to the inside to close that gap because Falele is pulling, and then hinge to pick up anything that comes wide. So that's why you see the little wonky blocking scheme right there. But 77 does a good job of kicking out that end man on line of scrimmage. And with the timing of it, Keaton hits it just as he needs to be. And this, to me, this was the best blocked run play of the game as far as execution. Everybody did their assignments. You see a good double team with Ronnie and Voorhees. Then the bum gets swim, but because the play's going away from him, it don't really affect it that much. Roger Rosengarten seals off that back end. Then you get a really good kick out, and his head is finally in the right spot. Part of the problem with this dude, his head normally in the wrong spot. His head will be on the outside, and the defender can spin back inside and get, in on the tackle. Well, in this play in particular, his head is in the right spot. And because he's so big, he creates enough leverage, and it just widens the gap out. And then likely doing work down there as well. And this, to me, is the best block run play of the game. Keaton hits it for, if I'm not mistaken, about 9 yards maybe. And then you always see one of the smallest dudes fighting more than the offensive lineman. And I love that about Zay.
Hey, is that was that a G-row concept there?
Possibly, because we don't run we normally run the traps on the inside, which is that long run Derrick Henry had versus Buffalo a couple years ago. This long trap is just it's another wrinkle to go with the duo run that I haven't seen a lot of, but it's effective, and you don't get the pull other people. But I will say, by him doing this, I'll show you a play later on that is a direct reflection of him pulling Lele and then fooling the defense.
Okay.
And it might be this one. Yeah, it is this one. It's the very next play. So watch Lele pull on this one. He's going to pull this way, and it's going to attract that dude. Because the linebackers are read to pull to read the pulling guards. So when he pulls, you see 51 comes, you see 44 comes, likely comes down like he's pulling as well to make it look like counter. You see Derrick Henry taking his counter step, so that can look like counter. So everything right now looks like counter. Linebackers are flowing to where counter should be. But what you don't see, what they don't see is Zay coming backside. Like he's going to stop, pivot, and come out. And now you have two lead blockers on this reverse. So you see Lele pulling that long trap. Then you see Todd building on it, because some people say Todd can't call plays, but I beg to differ. But he built on that conversation. I mean, that concept. And now you see, look at the leverage. Because those guys move, you got 3 different leverage blocks. Now, they don't have to kill these blocks. They just have to be on the right side. And you see these 3 guys are on the right side. You see Mark has it down on the end man on line of scrimmage. And now you got 2 lead blockers out in front of Zay with one of the most athletic linemen out here leading. Keep in mind, Ronnie was over here.
Yeah.
And now he's the lead blocker on the other side. And that's it right there.
Wow. Good job, Ronnie.
This is what you want.
Zay hops up.
That's what you want right there.
Look at Zay, man. He just zips and zags. But yeah, so for the audio-only audience, essentially there you had Lele doing his job yet again, back-to-back plays. Ronnie as a lead blocker way down the field, covering like 30 yards. And then obviously Zay just ripping his way through the defense, and was likely in there as well.
Yes, likely was the guy that reversed out. Yeah. He acted like he was the other part of counter.
The counter.
He took a couple steps.
Yeah.
You see him right here. He's going to come down. And then once it kind of, you have to have good timing on it. And so then he reversed out and was one of the lead blockers on the reverse.
Yeah. And for the audio only audience, King Henry was in the backfield. There was a fake toss counter to him. And then Zay comes around for what looked to be misdirection initially, and then ends up big gain there. First down too, right?
Yeah. Good job of Todd just building on plays. Right now we have, what I have right here. Duo again. Again, is the concept that I said we don't normally run. And again, we trying to leave the end man on line of scrimmage unblocked. And in this case, and I think this is something that you guys want to talk about later. So if you want to talk about it when I do it, because I have something to say about it too. This is the Jermaine Johnson situation. Yeah. So this is that play. And so this is a man concept duo. Again, we're trying to get all these guys to block down, get these double teams, leave this guy unblocked. That's the end man on line of scrimmage, which they do that. Everybody does their job for the most part. 11 is going to slant down, and 42 is going to pancake him like he should. But the thing is, a lot of people don't want to realize is Jermaine Johnson has this gap. This guy has this gap. This guy has the outside gap. Well, Jermaine goes down there and Ricard, rightfully so, dumps him on his head. This guy takes the cowardly way out and goes outside. And so now you got 2 guys in this outside gap. And then watch what happens for Derrick. There's nobody there to block him because he took the coward route and went outside. He's supposed to try to get inside of Mark, and then he has this outside gap. Now you see they don't keep their gap integrity. which leads to a huge hole for like a walk-in for Derrick Henry.
Yep.
Because
So
he
it's
chose to
fif-
go inside.
So it's 56. It's 56 fault for not having gap integrity. However, does the point stand? Because Jermaine was talking about, okay, well, I was in the right gap. You
He
guys don't
was.
know ball, sure, but he still got face planted by.
Oh, he definitely, he definitely got. He was in the right gap, so he was right and wrong at the same time.
Right. I was gonna say you might be in the right gap, buddy, but Patrick Ricard took care of business, and you got to take your L on that.
Yep.
And if
So
you guys-
he did sound football, but when it comes to one-on-one, he lost the one-on-one.
Yeah. Okay.
What we're referring to here is a good back and forth between our friend Cole Jackson and Jermaine Johnson, Jets defender here, that coach is breaking down on the fourth down run where Derrick Henry, goes into the end zone untouched. So Jermaine, Cole's kind of getting under his skin here, right? And so he's like who's number 11 on the Jets? Ricard just planted some new grass seed with his face, and Jermaine comes back and says, "This is how I know y'all don't know ball. On this call, my gap," and this is kind of what you were just getting into, Coach, here. On this call, my gap is inside of 70, meaning Roger Rosengarten. When I sensed him in 42, Pat Ricard, trying to wash the line down, I played back into 42, and I put him in the gap, closing the B and C gap the best I can using his body. Common football knowledge. If they're trying to wash you, put his body in the gap, but I don't expect y'all to know this. And then, of course, it all started with Ravens Nation Live, Sarah. This tweet right here talking about some of the Ravens offensive line domination. I know that's hard to believe. And that got under Jermaine's skin a little bit here as well, who just took a random shot, Coach, at 70. Roger Rosengarten saying that he cooked him, even with chip help. Having 8 back there saved him, which is really ironic because 8 has not been very mobile in recent weeks, nor was he on Sunday, Coach.
Agree. And I didn't see the play where he cooked Rosengarten. I haven't seen that yet, but with the holidays, so I ain't watched it as much as I normally would. But when I find it, I'll definitely jump in this conversation and see what's going on. And Jermaine's a Florida State guy, so I've seen him play a couple times, being in town.
Well, Cole posted all the reps between Rosengarten and Jermaine, and there was one where it looked like Jermaine won, but there was no cooking involved, like I would say. So if you want to check it out, Cole has them all up.
These are all of them right here. Yep, up on the screen right now. They go quickly, but there's not a lot here. Some of these just Lamar gets the ball out of his hand quickly, like the one that was thrown behind Mark there, Coach. But this is directly from some of the tallying up that Cole did with these snippets. Yep.
Yeah, I don't see any cooking. I just see 2 guys battling. That's it.
That's right.
Yep. So anyway, and then of course the one signature, which is what you've already broken down, right, was the fourth down untouched Derrick Henry run is second on the day, and everybody kind of doing their job accordingly there. So anyway, that was the perfect segue, and now we'll get back to what you have on the not so good category.
All right, these are the not so good plays as far as in the run game that I found. Again, we're doing a lot of people. Well, we have crack zone, so we start with the outside zone. And what should happen on crack zone is normally this is Bateman doing this, and you have him cracking like one of the end man on the line of scrimmage or the linebacker, and then we kind of tossing, not necessarily tossing, but trying to get outside and get to the edge. Well, in this case, with Bateman being injured, you got D-Hop, and so his not gonna say inexperience, but his not being decisive on who to block kind of makes this play bad. So first of all, when Zay comes in motion, it's gonna change the entire blocking scheme. Everybody knows who they're supposed to block now, but with him coming in motion, everything has to change. And this is what being an offensive lineman, you have to be cerebral, because when they bump like that, all your blocking assignments change. But you have to know that on the fly. You can't be sitting here sifting and trying to wonder. You have to know that on the fly. So you got to run your tracks. And so here, D-Hop should take number 26, which is this guy right here. That's who he should block. But he kind of slow plays it and don't really know who to get. And see how it's indecisive? He should get that dude and let Derrick Henry be one-on-one with Brandon Stevens. But he don't. He goes to get Brandon Stevens, and now he's free. And I don't know if Derrick can see this guy, because normally I think if Derrick sees him ahead of time, he won't be able to make that tackle. But I think him popping out right there kind of surprised Derrick, and instead of Derrick just lowering his shoulder and trying to get by him, he makes the tackle. But as far as the offensive line-wise, I want to show you the gravity of Lamar Jackson. So what should happen here is Ronnie should get that They should have a scoop and going there. Falele should take off right now and try to cut this dude off. Rosengarten try to cut him off. Mark try to cut him off. That's what should happen. Now, because of Lamar, this dude should be fighting over the top to try to get over there. He sees Lamar fake it. He stops his path completely and goes backside, even though they already have a backside player. That's just how much pull Lamar has, even if he's quote unquote not healthy. Which actually it helps 77 now, because you'll see once I keep playing it, he touches nobody again. See, now see, look at him. Look at him. Go find work, man. That's what we want. Go find work somewhere.
Like, dude, you didn't have to black your guy. Go find somebody else.
Man,
it's constant. It's a constant thing.
You never try to go after him, right? But he makes it so darn easy, man. I mean, at least he's upright, right? But goodness gracious.
He's the biggest thing out there. That's why he's the easiest target.
Yeah.
And on this play here, I think this is one where we have 3 busts, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, there's no consistency among the 5 guys up front. So you're going to get 3 different busts on this play. The first one is Linderbaum. He tries to out-leverage this guy, which he has to because he's a smaller guy. But the 97 hits him with a swim move and is in the backfield immediately. Second, our guy again was supposed to try to get to 51. He can't get there. It's just physically impossible for him to get there. And then third, and this is a guy that don't really miss a lot. You see Ricard lunging and misses. So Derek has, even if Linderbaum blocks 97, you got 51 right there ready because because Falele can't get to him. Then you got Ricard missing on this block. So where is he supposed to go? How are you supposed to get, a head of steam going and you get inconsistencies like this all the time?
Can't do it.
At all. It's impossible. It's impossible to do. Now, what I will say is I have a question for you guys that's kind of been going on in my little Twitter circles. There are some people thinking that Keaton should be the number 1 guy because my theory is Keaton can't take the punishment that Derek's taking getting hit behind the line of scrimmage. And so people are like, well, Keaton should be in. Keaton should get more touches. But I feel like Derek's built better for the offensive line because we don't block it right. I don't think Keaton could take that punishment. I feel like, Keaton has to have stuff blocked right for him to be explosive. Like the play I showed earlier, which I felt was the best block play that we ran. It was a Keaton play. The play where it got called back. That was one of the better plays for him. Now that play wasn't blocked right. Keaton used his natural gifts to get outside on that one. So that would have been a one in favor of giving Keaton more touches. But for the most part, just like this last play, you don't get a lot of plays that block right. And I think Derek has the ability to fall forward if he sees what's coming, whereas Keaton can't take that punishment that Derek's taking. It's the point where Derek is having I think Derek had 9 yards before the line of scrimmage or something like that. And then Keaton had 40.
Yeah.
Because of the but they counted the flag play too.
I'm with you. I think what you're getting at makes a lot of sense to me. I mean, it's no disrespect to Keaton. It's just simple, like to use your word from a couple minutes ago. It's simple gravity. It's measurables. It's yards after contact. It's missed forced tackles. I mean, Keaton can make everybody miss on a football field, but can he endure some of the physicality that Derek behind the line of scrimmage that Derek has seemingly on a weekly basis had to endure? Not to that level.
Yeah, I think it's a travesty that it took this long to get Keaton as many touches as he is getting finally. And I could be a proponent of giving him, a few more per game, but to become the lead back, I do think, and again, I do think that Keaton benefits a little bit by being the change up back, where like they're just so used to like just being so physical with Derek and it's more about physicality than speed. And then so to have that change up real quick and to throw it on them, I think that Keaton benefits from that a bit. And I think if he became like this, 18, 20 kind of carry guy, to your point, I don't know that he could sustain that type of hitting, but I also just don't know that he'd be as explosive as we're seeing him as he comes to change up behind Derrick Henry.
I agree. The only scat back type of dude that I've seen sustain this gravity. I'm sorry, this type of carries is Chris Johnson from a while ago. He's the only slender built running back that I've seen be like what you call a lead, a multiple, like a 25 carry a game guy. A lot of those small guys, they have to be scat backs because they can't take that punishment unless they have a great O-line. Now you see like a Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs is I got something for you, Bob. Hold on. Let me throw this up there. So you won't have to put that one up there. Give me 1 second.
And by the way, maybe Keaton could do it with the 2019 Ravens offensive line, but so could Derrick Henry.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, look
So
at that.
There he is. Look at him. Oh, that's what you
Oh,
wanted
look
up there,
how
huh?
smooth that is.
I gotta, who ain't gonna big me up if I don't big myself up? Gotta.
There you go.
And
But-
Coach, as you get ready to wrap here, I'm also going to drop your links that everybody's seeing on the screen into our live chat for those that maybe don't already follow you.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate the opportunity, and it's good talking ball with you guys. I look forward to the next couple of times we on.
And did you have a closing thought? I didn't mean to interject there. What was your closing thought?
Nah, we have to be consistent up front, and we got to find a way. Like I'm not big on changing up 5 offensive linemen, but at this point, something has to happen. And last thing, like I got to defend my guy Todd. It's tough to call plays when your offensive line don't do their job. I did it on a smaller level in high school, and when I didn't have the offensive line to do the simple stuff, you could almost just throw darts at the wall because you don't really know what's gonna happen.
Hey, Coach, I have one last question for you before you split, if you got the time.
Mhm.
I had made the comment before you came on because we were running a Dan Orlovsky quote that he's like, well, as the offense is currently constituted, like they're not Super Bowl contenders, which is true. I mean, the way they looked against the Jets, no. But like, who's to say? I mean, these injuries that Lamar is sustaining, they come in clusters. At some point, you'd have to think the clusters end. There's a chance he could get healthy. But then but even if he does get healthy, people still say, well, what about the offensive line? Is there a world, maybe with an Emory Jones change or whatever, do you feel like there's a world where the offensive line does get better and that a healthy Lamar behind them can perform better? Like what is your optimism that the offensive line can improve?
At this point, there's not a lot physically that they're going to do. It's really going to fall back on Todd, Derek, and Lamar, in my opinion. It's easy, and I ain't gonna say it's easy. It's a lot less complicated to hide one guard. But when you have 2 guards that are really literally messing up almost every play, that's tough to hide. The thing hopefully is they can figure out, hey, Voorhees is good at XYZ, Falele is good at XYZ. Let's run that stuff, and hopefully we can execute that stuff. And that's what I feel like they did last year because Makari was better than what Voorhees is giving us, even though he wasn't the greatest. But they only had to hide Falele last year when they was able to run certain concepts to a certain side and keep Falele out of the point of attack. But now, like, cause they want to run a lot of power and counter. That's what they want to do. They want to run power and counter in the first half and pound you, and then come back with the outside zone stuff in the second half when you start to collapse when you start to pinch your lineman. Well, they can't do that this year because no concepts are really working. Even the outside zone ain't working like it did last year. Because as big as Derrick Henry is, he's an outside zone runner. So it should be set up for him to be successful in it. But just like with D-Hop, it's somebody different on every play. It's not Falele every play. It's not Voorhees every play. It's not Linderbaum every play. And then you can throw Rosengard in there too, because I feel like he's regressed. But I think, barring what happens the rest of this year, in my mind, I feel like I know what the problem is. I don't know if you want my take on it or not. I'll let me know.
Yes, sir, we do.
Warhop.
Well, the good news is for our audience, if they
It's
enjoyed
Warhop.
the last 20 plus minutes.
Warhop. He says it's Warhop, Bobby. Offensive line coach.
I think it's Warhop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And you're not the only one, by the way. I think Coach Coleman would agree with that. So maybe many within the film community. And man, you guys, we do not envy what it is that you do throughout the football season and in the off season. I mean, you're turning around this content and really quick, overnight in some cases. It's a short week. You got family, I'm sure, in town.
I'm sure y'all heard them.
Oh no, we actually couldn't. Your mic is top notch, my man. But what I was gonna say was, if folks enjoyed the last 20 plus minutes or so, then they're gonna enjoy what we have planned, because this is not the last time we'll be seeing you on Tuesdays moving forward. So, Coach, we really appreciate your time today. Happy Thanksgiving, we look forward to doing this again at some point in the near future.
Same to you and yours as well. Both of y'all, Bob and Sarah. And thank you for the hooking me up with the tailgate in Miami. That was an awesome time. Awesome time. Even though I left the game in a wheelchair, it was an awesome time.
Heck yeah. What was that now?
I left the game in a wheelchair at halftime.
I can't tell if you're joking or not.
No, I'm dead serious. Dead serious.
What happened?
Yeah.
My foot I had a flare up with, I don't even know what it is, but I couldn't. The longer I sat there, the more it hurt. And so we eventually left right before halftime. But the good thing is I got to see the entire team come in for halftime.
Yeah.
And I got to see the entire Dolphins team leave out for halftime.
Yeah.
That was the good thing.
Dude, I did not know that. Oh my gosh. How you feeling now?
I'm fine. I was fine 2 days later. It just it comes and goes like that.
So
Good.
weird.
I must have totally missed that.
I'll send you the link. I did
that?
like a little recap of it on one of the videos, and I'll send you the link. I'll DM you the link to it.
Please do.
All right. Please do.
Glad you're on the Men.
Appreciate
Coach.
y'all, man.
Happy Thanksgiving, and look forward to doing it again. We got it in the calendar. It's funny. We've been going such a mile a minute. You DM me yesterday. I was like, oh yeah, we got Coach scheduled. We did this months ago. So looking forward to it. I know everybody appreciates your time today.
I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good one.
Thanks,
Later.
Coach.
That is Coach Evans, Sip to Tally's finest. And again, really, really encourage you guys to go support his work if you're interested in doing so. It's Sip to Tally Films on YouTube. That is Sip, SIP, 2, the number, and Tally, TALLY Films. And in the Twitter space, he can be found at Coach Evans 9. Sarah, we've been kind of tinkering with Film Study Tuesdays between Jason Smith, Derek Coleman, and now Coach Evans. Hopefully Cole will come on at some point, and it's just yet again another reminder of how talented everybody is in this space.
I was gonna say, like, I just because Coach Coleman has told us he's worked in other spaces. I just feel like we're so lucky as like a Ravens YouTube community to have so many great film study guys. And some of them coaches, somebody like Jason who like wants to be a scout someday, and they all kind of have their different flavor of how they do things. It like every time one of them comes on, I'm just like, I love this. I love it every single time on Film Study Tuesdays.
You and me both. So again, thanks to Coach, thanks to Coach Coleman, thanks to Coach Evans, thanks to Jason Smith and the entire community. They really bring an extra level of flair, analysis, and expertise to the game that we try and cover on an annual basis, not having played obviously at that level. So you heard him. He used to be a high school offensive coordinator. Coach Coleman, believe he was at the D3 level, collegiate football wise. So these guys just are bringing it for us, and we really appreciate them.